Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Books with Ken. I'm your host, Ken Dunn, and you know that I bring you authors and amazing books from all over the world. As I travel internationally, I come across some of the most incredible literary works and their authors, and I like to bring them to you. And today is no exception. Today I'm joined in Toronto, Canada by Laura Bilotta, the author of Single in the City. Hello, Laura.
Hello, Ken. How's it going?
Oh, it's going fantastic. Look, I've had a real fun time flipping through your book. I can say that I'm not a candidate. I've been happily married for 20 years, but I can see there's such a huge need for what you're bringing to market. Tell us what the book is about.
Well, first of all, even if you're in a relationship, you can read this book. You can get some takebacks from this book because we talk about love languages and communication and temperaments. These are all things that can relate to relationships. So technology has turned the dating world upside down, and traditional dating rules, they no longer apply. So this book addresses all the dating rules when it comes to modern dating, communication, things like love languages, dating outside your comfort zone, and being flexible with your list of partner requirements, and the list goes on and on. So this book will help you navigate through the complicated dating landscape that's out there right now.
Laura, where does your background come from? Obviously, the book is well written and it's full of details. And just talking to you, I can hear that you know what you're talking about. What's your background?
Well, I have been running. Well, I started Single in the City about 15 years ago now, and I'm a date coach. I'm a matchmaker. And I pretty much learned a lot of my skills through experience, really. I have a radio and broadcasting background before that. But and when I was younger, I think I'm a big people person. So I listen, I pay attention to details, and I've always been that person that people have come up to and always trying to help them with their problems, and always been a little matchmaker. So I decided to start my own business. So I run speed dating. That was the main part of the business for a long time. And then I started coaching singles and helping them become better at dating and ultimately finding a relationship. And I'm also a matchmaker. So I help people find the love of their life.
Laura, why did you write this book? What are you hoping happens now that you've written it?
So a few things. I wanted to help women conquer their fears about dating and relationships. Dating should be a fun and positive experience, not something that you get full of anxiety every time you think about it. Like I said, I started this business about 15 years ago, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot through my own experience, and I learned a lot through other people's experiences. And I wanted to share those experiences with everyone to hopefully bring them that much closer to having a successful and happy relationship.
And what do you think people will find in the book? You know, I want to tell you this story. I've interviewed 1,000 authors, and I've read thousands of books myself, and I find that the greatest books are always remembered for one thing. There's lots of great, valuable takeaways in most books, but there's always the one thing that people remember. My case in point is Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers book. Although there's many things that can be taken away from it, readers always remember 10,000 hours. What is the thing that is going to be remembered when people read Single in the City, when they're talking to friends about this book or recommending it? What are they going to say?
I think the book is aimed at helping you find out who you are and why you attract the people you do. And by reading the book, we're going to help you turn that around so that you start attracting the right people into your life.
So I know that I always ask people, who's the book for? And I know that you can answer this both ways likely. I have a feeling that there's a big part of this book that's for women, but hearing some of the details you talk about and also some of the things I've found flipping through the book, this book really is for men and women. What are your thoughts on this? Who's the book for?
I think it's for both, although I think more women are inclined to pick up a book like this and then maybe hand it over to one of their male friends. But I think it's yeah, so I would think maybe more so for women, but it's also great for them too, because there's a lot of information about them, and which will give them a greater understanding about men in general.
So whether they're divorced or just looking for their first love, there are millions of people in Canada and hundreds of millions around the world that are looking for that right mate. What's the biggest piece of advice that you can give them? If you could leave them now with just one piece of advice to get started on that journey to finding the perfect partner, what's that piece of advice?
Is be the best that you can be, and be in a really good place before you put yourself out there and start dating again. So you need to ask yourself that question: would you date you? And if the answer is no, then you really need to work on yourself before you get out into the dating world, because you don't want to bring that baggage that you might be carrying into another relationship. And another little tidbit of information would be to be positive and get out there as much as you can. And there's somebody out there for everyone. And sometimes we might just need to change a tiny little thing about what we're doing and our behavior that can help us become that much more successful at ultimately finding your dream person.
Well, friends, this is Ken Dunn. I've had Laura Bilotta, the author of Single in the City, on the show today. As always, you can get some notes on this interview above the video or below the video. I guess it really depends on where you're seeing it. Laura, any last things you want to share with people? I put my heart and soul into this book, and I really enjoy it, and I hope that you do as well, and I hope you'll pick up the book to, bring you that one step closer to ultimately finding your perfect match. Laura, where can people get a hold of you if they're interested, if this interview has inspired them? I know you do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and you run a number of events across North America. What's the best way for people to connect with you?
They can go to my website, which is .ca, or singleinthecitydating.com. They can follow me on Instagram, message me there at Laura_Bilotta, or they can find me through my Facebook page, official Laura Bilotta, or they can email me, laura@singleinthecity.ca.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show today. And to all of you who are the loyal followers of Books with Ken, thanks for joining us today. And we'll be back to you very soon with another amazing author and another exciting tale.